Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be reviewing a brand new face palette from MAC Cosmetics. And this is the Contour and Sculpt Yourself palette. Now this is a refillable, customizable 6-pan palette, and this is something that you could build and create yourself. So MAC Cosmetics does sell the refillable pan, they sell the 6-pan insert, and then they sell the 6 individual blush inserts. Now this can all be purchased individually, or you can purchase it on its own in this Contour and Sculpt Yourself palette. So this palette is limited edition and it is online exclusive and retails for $60. But as I was saying, you can create and customize this palette on your own. It'll just cost you $112 opposed to $60. So with that being said, the fact that you can completely create this palette on your own for $112, I think that $60 is an amazing value for this palette. So the MAC palettes come with a really sturdy, hard, see-through plastic, and it does say MAC in the center here. So this is a very thick, very heavy palette that's extremely durable. And then you lift up your lid and you've got your insert here. So I do have a black insert that holds 6 pans, and then these are each the 6 refillable pans. So one of the great things about this palette is if maybe one of these shades isn't for you, you don't like the shade selection, you can swap it out. Or maybe if you hit pan on one of these palettes or you run out of a shade and need to refill it, you can do that. Most palettes that you purchase, as far as blush and face palettes go, once you're out, you're out. And I love that MAC sells this all together in a set that you can purchase and get a discount, but you can also continue to use for years to come as long as you take care of it. So when you receive this palette in the mail, it will come in a black bag like this, and all of the pieces will be individual. So the blushes will all be in their own separate packaging. You will have the insert in a separate package, and you will have the actual palette itself in a separate package. So you will open everything up and you will place everything in the palette how you would like it. And I love having that option because everybody looks at their products a different way. Everyone's gonna look at their palette and want their highlight in a certain spot and their bronzer in a certain spot. So the fact that you can build this your own and put everything where you want it is really nice. So this is the MAC Shaping Powder in the shade Emphasize. This is the MAC Sculpting Powder in the shade Sculpt. And then we have the 4 MAC blushes. This one is in the shade Sunbasque. This one is in the shade Trace Gold. This one is in the shade Fleur Power. And then this one is in the shade Peaches. And what I love so much about this palette is these are all popular shades. These are shades that a lot of you have probably heard of before. They're top sellers, and they're items that I'm sure MAC knows will do well on the market. And I love that they put them all in the shade, the same palette, because I feel like so often when brands create their own palettes or when they do a set, or especially those holiday gift sets, you always feel like there's a little something in there that no one's gonna want. There's always gonna be that one shade that you're like, what's that for? Or that one product that you feel like they just threw in there to get rid of it. And I don't feel like you have that problem with this palette. I feel like every single shade in here is versatile, and every single shade in here is something that the everyday woman would love. I personally would totally create this palette. When I saw this palette, I was like, I would wear every single one of those shades. If I were to pick out the own shades that I wanted to put in my own palette, these would be them. And that is what I love so much about this palette, is it's gonna work for everybody, and you get these really popular, really high quality products for only $60 when there's tons of people out there who would be willing to pay the full $112. Because let's be real, this is so worth it. You get a great quality case here. You have great quality products inside. They are a great size. They're full size products, and they're refillable. This is everything that anyone could ever want. This is perfect for those of you who love makeup and you want to expand on your own collection. But I also think this is perfect for those who are professional freelance artists that want a nice, durable blush palette to have on them. So one thing that I think is so awesome about this blush palette is you get your 2 shimmery blushes, but you also get 2 matte blushes. So you can really be able to customize your looks here. You can easily mix the shades together, do something that's unique for you, or you can have something that you can do matte one day, shimmer the next day, and you're good to go. So MAC Emphasize is a really nice sheer wash of color. It's really, really sheer. It's just a light highlighting powder or almost like a setting powder. I love this for underneath the eyes or for brightening the skin, but it is sheer. So you're gonna get a little bit of that luminosity to it, but it's not gonna be like an intense highlight powder. It's not gonna be something that doesn't work for a lot of different skin tones because it is on the sheer side. So this is a great setting powder or brightening powder. Then MAC Sculpt, this is a very cool toned contour shade. Again, it's a little bit more sheer, so you can easily build it up, but it is very, very pigmented. So that's what I use to get this nice little contour here. I went a little bit more subtle with it today, but you can build that up to do an intense contour if you want to. And I think the shade is gorgeous. It's a little cool tone, but it's not so cool that it looks ashy, and it's very matte. And then for Sunbasque and Trace Gold, these are just gorgeous, lightly shimmery shades. You're gonna get reflection off of either of them. They're very beautiful for brightening the skin and for giving a glow to the skin that's just very healthy and lovely. You can use the Sunbasque as a bronzer, which is what I did today, kind of all over, just to give me a little bit of a glow. And then Trace Gold is just a lovely, very neutral, peachy kind of blush. And then as far as Fleur Power and Peaches go, these ones are a little bit more pigmented because they are matte, and MAC matte blushes are a little bit more bold. They're very buildable. They're so, so blendable. All of these are so easy to blend and work with on the skin, and I absolutely adore every shade in this palette. I am so impressed and so pleased with this palette. This is by far my favorite purchase that I have ever made with MAC Cosmetics, and I highly, highly, highly recommend this palette to anyone and everyone. I think it's amazing. So I will leave a link down below where you guys can check out this palette, and if it's no longer available or you can't get your hands on it, I will also leave details on every single piece that's a part of this palette so you guys can check out everything individually if that's something you want to do as well. Thank you so much for watching. If this was a helpful video for you, or if you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up because I love your support and I love to get your feedback. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will also leave my social media links down below so you guys can find my website, my Instagram, and my Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Mwah!